And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lloyd with the Friday, June 26th edition of the CBC Evening News in our top story. Quick action by a mother saved her one-year-old daughter after their home caught fire this afternoon along Freehill, Blackrock, St. Michael. 8 people are now homeless as the 4-bedroom home owned by Avila Smith was completely damaged just after 2. Ms. Smith says she was at work at the time when she was alerted that the home she occupied for over 20 years was on fire.
At first it was a wrong statement, but then they corrected it and said, the house burning. It's my house? Tell me yes, the house burning. And after that, everything blank out. I just don't remember nothing more. When I get there, see the house down, just smoking. I didn't know what to say next. So I keep quiet.
Family is contemplating their next move and has appealed for some assistance as the home was uninsured. 2 neighboring homes were slightly damaged in that blaze. An eyewitness whose home received some damage to its roofing and shed recounts the ordeal.
I was down the gas stand up and I just see, first I see white smoke, and then when I run it to get, I see people running, so I just decided to run too. And when I run to get it here, I see smoke over my house. I asked somebody if they got a hose. They tell me, yeah, I run it up with a hose and trying to get inside the house. When I get inside the house full of smoke.
Barbados has recorded 2 road fatalities in less than 24 hours. A young primary school boy is dead after the car driven by his mother collided with a lamp post outside the entrance to the villages at Coverley just after 4 this afternoon. Another passenger in the vehicle was taken away from the scene by ambulance, and scores of onlookers gathered at the scene after news of the accident had spread. And last night, a 27-year-old St. James man also died on Barbados' roads. Travon Cadogan of West Terrace, St. James, was a passenger in one of 2 vehicles that collided on the Spring Garden Highway just after midnight. He died on the scene. That vehicle was driven by 27-year-old Michael Toppin from Oxnards, also in St. James. Toppin sustained a fractured left leg and head injuries. The other driver, 42-year-old Shernell Smith of Mount Standfast in St. James, and her passenger, a 59-year-old female, complained of pains about the body. The injured were taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance. Call it the photocopy generation, and a government minister is voicing concern about the lack of deep thinkers in Barbadian society. Industry Minister and St. James South MP Donville Innes shared his thoughts on the matter as he addressed the graduating class of West Terrace Primary School at the Western Light Church of the Nazarene.
I am quite concerned that Barbados today has emerged as a society that is void of deep thinkers. Many people can read well, they can regurgitate what they hear, what is taught to them, but they're really not deep thinkers. And I would like to see this generation emerge as the next generation of deep thinkers in Barbados. I urge you, therefore, as young ones going into secondary school, grab hold of all of the opportunities to learn and to learn all the things about all the things around you.
Meanwhile, news is that West Terrace Primary School is among the top 10 primary schools in the island in terms of the results in the Barbados Secondary School entrance examination. Principal Beverly Burrows broke down the statistics.
Now, the national mean in mathematics, the national average, is 50.46. West Terrace's mean in mathematics is 55.97, and it gave us the 10th place in the island out of about 72 private primary schools. The national mean in English is 67.11. West Terrace's mean in English is 71.78, which gave us 11th position. The national mean overall is 117.58. West Terrace Primaries is 127.76. So therefore it puts us in 10th place in the island of the public schools.
General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, has criticized the government's recent budget. She says the reduction of allowances and the increase in taxes has in no way helped the working man or woman.
The juggling of taxes in a manner where you take from here or you give here and take back in another area, sometimes taking back more. In our view, that's in the view of the Barbados Workers Union, represents a bogus attempt to address the substantive issues. In fact, the budget further removes purchasing power of workers who at the same time have been saddled with increases in shops, increases in supermarkets, increases at the gas pump, increases in doing business generally in Barbados.
It was also revealed by the BWU boss that layoffs could be on the horizon for some staff at the telecommunications company Lime. Ms. Moore, who was informed by Lime, says if the layoffs do occur, they would be a natural result of the merger between Lime and Flow.
As a consequence of the integration between Cable and Wireless and Flow or Columbus, that there would necessarily be impacts on staff. Up to this point, there has been no formal indication as to the extent of those impacts. But what the company has said is where in those areas where it recognized that it may need to shed labor, that every attempt would be made to engage the Barbados Workers Union.
Two St. Michael youth have been sentenced to 2 years each at Her Majesty's Prison at Dodds after appearing at the Whole Town Magistrates Court today for a number of burglaries along the west coast at beach and holiday villas. They are 27-year-old Akil Callender and 33-year-old Jamal O'Neill Hurley, both of Deacons Farm, St. Michael. Police say the two, jointly charged with 6 counts of burglary, pleaded guilty to all the charges. Well, an inmate serving a 4-year jail term now has more time added to his sentence after he was found with cannabis during a search at Her Majesty's Prison at Dodds on Wednesday. The inmate, Akeem Ben, pleaded guilty to the charge. He was sentenced to 15 months in prison to run consecutively to the prison term he's now serving from May 2012. Well, former cultural officer at the National Cultural Foundation, Addison Ford, wants to see more folk music coming out in calypso songs. He says the changes to crop over the years have caused the tradition to lose its essence. The officer also wants to see more competitions like tuck band, steel band and line dancing present in the festival.
The tuck band competition should be revived, since tuck is our music. The NCF can do tuck workshops to this end and encourage sponsorship so groups can acquire instruments.
And speaking at the Black Rock Cultural Center yesterday, Mr. Ford is concerned that violence is also becoming a part of the event.
In addition to the safety concerns now that so many of our misguided youth see these events as opportunities for them to have their 5 minutes of fame with their meaningless violence.
More news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you believe Barbadians are exercising enough due care and attention on our roads? You can text yes or no to short code 8111 and we'll have the results for you at the end of our news.
Be a winner. Go up to 10 kilometers further with Sol.
One never done. Ping pong, she has smiled everyone. She have that taste that a chairs must waste. Chuckles make me smile up the face.
You got the fun. Charles Chocolates for real chocolate lovers.
Start smiling.
Good morning. Good morning.
Monday on Morning Barbados, so much to tell you about the stray cats. Will be spending some time with us again. Also, Cave Shepherd's going to tell you all about their amazing Black Up line and the visual arts. Because, of course, Doug, there is crop over in the air, so we're going to have another crop over, stopover, where we focus on the Visual Arts Festival.
And speaking of artistic, another delectable dish from our Cookout Monday specialist, Chef Craig.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to and more.
Yeah.
Monday
on Morning Barbados.
Government is in the process of looking for a permanent home for the Barbados Youth Service. According to Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth Stephen Lashley, the facility will cost around $5 million. He explained that the facility will allow more people to benefit from the youth service.
I believe that it is a necessary step to take, because what we don't want to have happen is not finding the resources to deal with providing intervention solutions for our young people, and then having to spend the resources to deal with other aspects of problems where our young people may run afoul of the law, and then we have to spend the money in rehabilitation.
During a press conference at his ministry's Sky Mall Haggett Hall office, Mr. Lashley disclosed that 560 people had passed through the program since 2008. He also revealed that applications are open for the next intake and shared some details of the youth services courses.
There's a one-year program consisting of 3 phases: the residential, skills training, and the job attachment, along with the intensive counseling designed within the length of the program. Each young person is equipped with the tools to best develop themselves socially, emotionally, and with the ultimate goal, of course, of being well-adjusted young people.
CARICOM, a regional integration, was the most recent debate in the House of Assembly. Only this time it was debated among members of the Barbados Youth Parliament. The debate comes as Barbados prepares to host the 36th regular meeting of Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community from July 2nd to the 4th. Youth Prime Minister Roshana Trim stressed that young people must be given the opportunity to share their voice in issues affecting them so that they can succeed.
Regional integration is really and truly a process that will have no drum roll signaling the big finale, but rather it will be permanent strides towards an independent community, a stable community, one that is united, cohesive, innovative, sensitive to all members of the CARICOM community, and tolerant. Regional integration is strides towards a healthy community, a secure community, one characterized by a first-class quality of life, a community based on equality. And when we talk about this community, we are talking about a community where our young people can grow, they can strive to achieve, they will be encouraged to succeed.
Meanwhile, member of the opposition youth, Krista Hoyt, stated that for the youth to succeed, CARICOM's plans for educational advancement must be re-evaluated.
I can't stress enough how important it is that our youth across the region have access to education. Higher education at that, because education is not expensive. Don't be fooled. Education is priceless, and higher education should never be an aspiration, but an expectation, Madam Speaker.
The independent member, Ade O'Neill, suggested that CARICOM faces a structural problem which affects the implementation of policies.
Madam Speaker, CARICOM will fail if we do not acknowledge its problems. So while I laud the tremendous work the CARICOM Secretary has been doing in this regard, it's a pity that his efforts may never see the light of the day. This is because with all the hard work being done by the Secretariat, decisions at the end of the day must be approved by all heads, discussed by all governments, debated in all parliaments, and right when you think you're making progress, an election is called and we have a change of government.
Well, out of the 71 public primary schools, St. Albans is placed 3rd overall in the common entrance examination. Principal Angela Ramsey says the performances of the males especially were outstanding.
I am delighted to say that the males at our school are leading the way in every category. A breakdown shows that the boys are leading the way.
And she was speaking at the school's graduation ceremony yesterday at the Gardens Church of God. The theme was Soar, the Sky is the Limit, and Ms. Ramsey also told students to plan for their future.
I encourage you to be focused at all times and set out a vision for yourself from now of where you want to go. Otherwise, you can find yourself moving around in circles and going nowhere. So map out a plan for you now.
Well, the principal of a private primary school says there may be at least one key reason why these schools are taking the majority of the places in the top 10 performance in the Common Entrance examination. I spoke with the head of the Warrens Primary School, which entered students in the 11+ exam for the first time this year. Kim Davis Edwards started the Warrens Preschool in 1999 in Warrens, and when it was moved to Map Hill in 2006, she decided to keep that name. At Map Hill, she quickly made the transition to a full primary school. This year was the first time the institution entered Class 4 students for the Common Entrance examination. They were Kedar Bryce, who will be attending Lodge, and Zara Chopman, who will be attending Combermere in September. Ms. Davis Edwards believes she knows why the private primary schools appear to be doing so well.
I can speak for Warrens, but I am assuming that most private schools probably will share the same small class concept and having an opportunity to do the individual work. And I will say that probably contribute to the success of the children.
The principal believes their teaching method is also different.
Yes, we follow, but for us we tweak ours a little bit to make sure that each child is grasping the learning that is being given.
Well, Zara was not available for the interview, but Kedar was. He is very happy about his results.
The exam was good. The maths was a little challenging. The grammar was quite easy, but I still got through. It feels exciting and good that I'm going to one of the top 6 schools.
Kedar's mother, Ruth Bryce, was over the moon when the results were released. She had moved him from a public primary school in the 3rd term of Class 3, which means the time frame before the exam was very limited.
His transition took place after seeing Kedar being a stream B child, and he seems to grow from that to a stream D child. And I knew the potential within Kedar. So therefore, after that, I start seeking where I can place Kedar, where he can be comfortable and where he can work to his potential. And really and truly, this was God-led.
Olivia Williams is a Class 4 teacher. She has been teaching for about 3 years. While she only had 2 students, according to her, there was still a lot of work to be covered.
The Class 4, they came in with some gaps. So even though it was 2 of them, it was still a lot of work. So we worked through Christmas holiday, we worked through Easter holiday, and it's put in a lot of work.
The Warrens Primary School has a roll of 73 students and 95 in the preschool and nursery sections. And still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Do you believe Barbadians are exercising enough due care and attention on our roads? You can text yes or no to short code 8111, and we'll have the results for you at the end of our news. And you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_Barbados, and of course on our Facebook page, CBC News Barbados.
Don't miss this fantastic offer. For a limited time, get 25% off select wines at the Platinum Wine Store in the People's Market Complex, Tudor Bridge.
They say men are from Mars and women from Venus, but the planets will collide at the 2015 First Citizens Pan Fusion in association with ICBL. Under the stars of Ilara Court, it will be sweet pandemonium.